everyone to another episode of Storytime with Mikey, the next chapter. In today's episode, I want to talk about baptism, religion, you could say. Because if you didn't watch my Easter vlog, prior to seeing this, if you're seeing this video first, hello. I revealed that despite the unfortunate stereotypes with people that are emo and scene and punk and whatever have you, yes, I do believe in God. I don't align with any particular faction of Christian religion or the faith. I don't go to church. I don't read the Bible. I know the Bible. I follow what you're supposed to do as a person who believes in God, but I don't worship God. I believe in all the religions, all forms of afterlife. That's why I personally believe that the universe is so vast and massive because of all these religions and all the space that you need for these religions to be true. And I do believe in all these different ideas of the afterlife, including ghosts and demons. But talking about baptism, I have been baptized. Not really by choice. I have very religious family members, and I do mean very religious, bordering Christian extremists, unfortunately, who, for some reason, wanted me to be baptized. They were desperately in need of me being baptized. I don't know why. Maybe they're trying to save my sinful soul. But they put me through this questionnaire, I guess you could call it, because you got to do all these studies and tests and whatnot to be baptized, apparently. And I gave them the answer that they were wanting me to give them. They weren't even wanting me to figure out answers on my own. They were just telling me what they want me to say. And then all of a sudden, within a couple of weeks, we're at the local lake. I'm being dunked underwater by a preacher. Now, these people, the church they attend is supposed to be non-denominational, but they welcome people from other churches into their church, whether you're Methodist, Catholic, Protestant, Lutheran, whatever. I went to a few of the church things, but I found them rather boring. I would have to make an excuse to go to the bathroom just so I could be on my phone and watch YouTube in the bathroom for 10 to 15 minutes while they were doing the sermons, just because I was so fucking bored. And in a couple of days where they came to pick me up, I would just lie and say I wasn't feeling well or that I sprained my ankle just because I did not want to go. Because I treat God as like a neighbor. You know, I know he's there. I acknowledge he's there. I know he exists. He's real. I just don't want to talk to him. I don't want to deal with him. Just like a neighbor. Nothing personal. I just don't want to deal with him. I know he loves me. I appreciate that. I respect that. I am happy that I'm loved. I just don't want to deal with them. It's the same way I don't like to deal with people with my family. I don't attend reunions. I attended one reunion only because I didn't have much choice. I just don't want to deal with them. And honestly, I think the reason for me doing this episode of the series is that if you're going to be baptized, it should be a personal choice, your own decision to do it. You should not be forced to do it, because here's the thing. This was when I was a teenager, and the whole thing is true. If you force someone into your beliefs and into what you're doing, you're going to push them into wearing alternative clothing, listening to alternative music, hanging out with alternative people, and I do all of those. I wear pink clothes, dark clothes. I paint my nails. I love heavy metal, punk rock, emo music. Stephen King and certain YouTubers. And I write very sad poetry. I have friends that are pagans. I got this from a friend of mine. They're very nice. So if you are a parent and you have children, take that advice. Don't force them into things, because otherwise you're going to push them into this stuff here that you really don't like. Because that's what happens. It's the same way you tell a person, don't you dare smoke. Because if you smoke, I'm going to do this and this and this. And they end up doing it anyway because you've done all this. Now they're going to do it anyway. They're going to learn for themselves if they like it or not. The same thing can happen with religion, but more often than not, you push them away from even wanting anything to do with the faith. I'm a bit nervous filming this episode because it's a controversial topic, but I mean, it's the truth. You shouldn't be forced to be baptized. You should want to be baptized if you want to be baptized. And because I didn't want to be, the baptism failed. Nothing about me changed, except for the fact that I am now resentful towards people in my family. I now want nothing to do with going to church, despite me knowing that God is, in my opinion, is real, and all these things are real. I don't want anything to do with active participation in religion because I was pushed away from it by their desperate attempts to pull me in. I am not a puppet on a string. I am not a marionette. I will not dance when you say dance. As far as I'm concerned, I was taken by a man who was a preacher, and I was dunked underwater for several seconds. At the local lake, when it was closed to the public, we weren't even supposed to be there because it wasn't open. It wasn't the season for it to be open yet for another month. I'm pretty sure that was trespass. Not the worst crime in the world, but still, they really should not have brought me there. And I didn't even know that it was closed until after we left. It's aggravating, to say the least. It's disappointing that your own family would do this to you. Not the whole family, but certain people in the family. And then I have some family members who say, well, you're just an atheist. No, an atheist believes in nothing after you die. They believe that when you die, it's lights out, show's over, curtain is dropped. No sequel. No encore, you could say. And again, I've stated my beliefs quite clear. I believe that there's an afterlife, and I'm quite certain that I've got two options. I'm either going to hell or I'm going to come back as a ghost, and I prefer that option because that's more fun. But this has been another episode of Storytime with Mikey, the next chapter where I talked about how I was forced to be baptized and how you really shouldn't do that. You should not. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. If any of you who have a similar story about this, let me know down below if you feel comfortable telling it, of course, because I know this happens more often than you would think, and it's really unfortunate. So let me know what you all thought, and I'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.